Hi everyone, welcome back to Melbury Estate in Farm Sim 15. Here we are. Sebastian has just taken the John Deere and he is now doing some ploughing work in one of the fields. We are currently, let's bring up the HUD, we're in field 7. So, a little bit of some updates to tell you about. So, I've been doing some work and I've tried to record 2 episodes, but both of them have had issues. First one recorded fine and I accidentally deleted the raw footage. That's why there wasn't a video last week. And the one I've literally just tried to record in the last 40 minutes, which I've been recording, for some reason the video didn't record. It recorded the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes, but I had all the audio and it's really frustrating. So, attempt 3. However, we have done a lot of work since that. So, since you last joined us, the farm has progressed a little bit. So, if we look down here, field 11, which is opposite where you can see the sheep farm, that has been ploughed. Sebastian finished ploughing that last time, which is great, and we actually finished a little bit off in the episode that you won't get to see, sadly. Then, if I bring this over is that any better? That might not be actually. Then at the main farm, where you can see the lighter blue in the middle of the map, to the left of that is field 3, which is a grass meadow. And what we've done, we've cut that, collected that grass, and placed that up into a silo up at the biotech centre in the top left-hand corner, and we've blanketed it over so it can start pickling and fermenting away, so we can get some silage at the end of the day. And we'll use that to pump into the biotech bins, and hopefully that should bring us some cash. So that's good, cool and groovy. I've sent Sebastian to plough this field, as you can see. He's doing a great job. Nutrient values are quite high. Look, N is times 6 and PK is times 4. Dropping a little bit on this worked area. Now the reason that's gone high is because you can see all this leftover corn. This is what was the cornfield harvest. So we've got all this chaff which we kind of just spat out onto the floor from the back of the combine. And then as we plough that in, you can see it increases the nutrient levels, which is great. So that's one of the things the soil mod does. Obviously it's currently at 57% moisture, and that's because we've just started, and that will slowly start to dry now that we've turned the soil, and all this moist soil is now being aired and dried by the sun, so that will dry out. However, quick look at the weather gauge. So it's going to be 28 degrees today at noon, so we'll lose some moisture today. Tomorrow is going to be cold at 14 degrees Celsius, so we won't have a moisture drop there. Saturday, it looks like we've got some sort of wintry weather coming in, so we should have a plus moisture level coming in there, and that's per hour it's wet, so it's 1 per hour of wetness coming down, or precipitation. So we're not quite sure exactly how much that's going to add, but it'll add something. Sunday's 18 degrees Celsius, so it should not reduce the soil moisture too much. It's got to be over 22. As you can see, it's going to be quite a pleasant but not overly hot week coming up. So today we're definitely going to lose moisture because it's going to be quite warm. Cool. So yeah, you can see the nutrients in that are increased where we've ploughed, and when we come on the unploughed, they're not quite as high. Now down here, you can see we've got some pesky weeds coming in. Look at these. And if you look down at the soil mod HUD, you can see 3% weed infestation. Yeah, 4%. Yeah, so you've got some weeds that are growing here. Now, don't worry about these. With ploughing, we will just clear them out fully. And we don't have to worry about them. They will also act like... So ploughing weeds and ploughing withered crop is just like the chaff on the ground. It'll add nutrients to the soil, because we're basically ploughing it into the soil, which is good. It may take some moisture out, obviously, because you're ploughing in dry material. Weeds are not necessarily dry, of course, but yeah, withered crops and stuff would be. Just notice the beautiful site of our hay barn here, our straw barn, which is great. Field 23, that could use a good cut as well, and we could potentially collect all that. as well as field 8 here, and we have field 2 as well. So these are all grass meadows that we could potentially work. Right, what I have been doing, this is our original collection of grass which we've pickled into silage on the farm. And what I have been doing, and I was doing at the end of the last video and I'll do it at the beginning of this video, you can see I've been putting some silage into the mixed feed ration. We've got a full grass and a full straw mixer silo. We just want to get the silage mixer silo up, and then hopefully if we can jump up you can see it working away in the background. We'll get the mixed ration into the farm, into the cow troughs, get them fed properly, and hopefully their production will increase as well, and we should be golden. So that will obviously increase the milk yield, and hopefully it will also increase the amount of manure and stuff we're getting from them as well, which should be nice. And the reason that will be nice is obviously because the more we get from our cows, i.e. silage and slurry, manure and slurry, the more we can put on our fields and the more options it will give us. So the slurry, for example, we can put nutrients in and moisture, which is a good way of adding moisture if the soil gets too dry. The solid manure, it won't add moisture straight away, so if we want to just add the nutrients we can dump the solid manure on there, then plough it in and that'll be fine. If we want it to add some moisture, we can just leave it on the field for a couple of days, and that will basically break down and seep into the soil, which is good. So it just allows us a little bit more flexibility with how we're going to get our nutrient levels and moisture. It's roughly about the same and the right level. At the moment, all we currently have is the pellet fertilizer, and we can also put some nitrogen. We could put the PK in there, or we could put lime in there if we want to reduce the pH scale of the soil. Oops, it's just spitting a little bit out on the floor. Let's just make sure we're getting the majority of that into the bin. Yep, so that is the task we have in front of us. Yeah, you can imagine my frustration at having to go for take 3 on this. Although, because what you do when you create yourself a little video, you have a set number of little jobs that you've got ready to go, and you can kind of get them done. And then what happens? Things go wrong, and then before you know it, you've done half the little jobs, and you've got to find something else to talk about for half hour. Which hopefully is not going to be too much of a challenge for me. I can usually drivel on like the best of them. So, while we're doing this, we're slowly getting there, almost halfway. We probably won't do it all the way to the top. But one of the things I do want to get, if I bring up the animal HUD, you can see we've got 10 chickens and we have 10 cows. So yeah, clearly I you know me, I like having the animals on the farm. That's one of the most fun parts about farming for me, is the animals. So yeah, I'd like to get some sheep going, but I think it'd be nice to get a bigger dairy herd as well. So, whoops, I just got stuck on the trailer's actually embedded into that steel girder. When I say the trailer, I mean the bucket, of course. There we go, we're free. Ooh, that could have gone rather nastily. I was expecting some weird physics event then. Thankfully, it didn't materialise. Let's just drive that a little bit forward, spilling a little bit. Nice, so we're getting there. That's definitely, we've got the green light, so it's mixing nicely. Good values. One of the things I was saying on the other videos is, if I just hop out of this for a second, absolutely fantastic little tractor. So this did all the ploughing in field 11. Absolutely covered in muck. Fantastic. A mucky tractor is a happy tractor, as I always say. But I like how the mud never, ever deters from the sponsorship. So Steyr and the model number are always visible, no matter what the amount of muck is on the tractor. Which I'm not going to make too much fuss about. It's a lovely little tractor, and I like how we've cleaned the headlights. So if anyone's lived in the country, especially around winter time when there's so much muck on the roads because there's all the rain, and you got the tractors in the field bringing muck onto the roads once they come out of the fields, and if there's a sugar beet or something harvest as well, more muck on the fields. And anyone who's lived in the country will know. Some days, you think there's no point in me cleaning the car. It's just gonna be absolutely covered in muck by the time I get to the main road. So you clean the headlights, you clean the number plate, and you leave it like that. We've all done that kind of quick clean, you know, just enough to make sure the cops don't pull you over, and you can see where you're going. We will probably need a bigger bucket for this going forward. If there's not a bigger bucket, then we'll need a better option going forward, especially down at the biotech plant, because I don't want to be dumping potentially hundreds of thousands of litres of silage into a bin if we've only got an 1800 litre capacity bucket. That will be a very challenging piece of work. I'll leave it like that. Right, so I think I've probably done enough of this for now. So if we just switch it off for a second and hop out and just take a quick stock shake. So we've just gone past halfway on the old mixed ration, which is great. If I press F1 and come over here, will it give me a running total of... So we've got 3,666 litres already mixed, which is 3% capacity. Okay, so that is fine. I might just extend the pipe a little bit so you can get a trailer closer to it. Of course, what we don't want to do is when we're emptying silage is get that dropping any stuff into the back of the or back into the bucket of the trailer. Right. So we're going to let that mix away for a little bit, and obviously what we want to do is we'll bring that over here and we'll dump it into the hello Kanye. We'll dump that into in this feed trough here, which will be great. One of the things I talked about on the other one was potentially selling this. Now this is obviously a water and milk tanker, but this game doesn't currently require water, which is an interesting one, and we don't require to deliver the milk. So one thing I want to just check, actually, if we get sheep, then I want to make sure the sheep don't require water before we get rid of it. Although we could potentially get rid of it and get the smaller version, you know, the actual default one. So what I want to do, I want to buy some sheep. But first of all, we've got 51 grand. I'll buy some cows. I want to buy 5 more cows. Okay, so we've got 5 more cows, which is great. We'll just keep getting little increments like that. So we've got 15 cows now. Now if we hop over to... Sebastian's doing a grand job, look at that. That is pretty amazing. Hop over to this little tractor over here. Let's just quickly uncouple that. Fire her up. I'm just going to drive down to the other farm, and I want to just check, see what they've got in the in terms of stuff for the sheep. These low-hanging trees make it a little bit more of a challenge to see what's coming, but doing okay. So as we drive down the road, we've got Sebastian in that field. You can see the weeds in the middle of the field. Sebastian just turning around, doing a grand job. Yeah, far better with the John Deere than he was in the Steyr. Although the Steyr did an amply good job. It was doing really well, but obviously the John Deere is a little bit bigger. Got a bit more weight to it and a bit more power to it, so it's more suited to the task. You know, I've seen tractors like, you know, back in the day, tractors like this were ploughing, happily ploughing in the fields, but yeah, it's a bit beyond it at the moment. So as you can see, that field has been completely ploughed. As we come in here, ooh, always to remember there's that silly little sign there. Right, so this is a sheep field, and you can see so these withered wheels, this is where the John Deere has driven around it while I've been doing bits and pieces and testing things out. Right, so here we go. Here's the now that to me looks like a feed. It is a feed bin because it's only got 3 sides and it won't hold water. So I'm guessing the sheep, unless there's another feed trough over here. No. Okay, so the sheep do not require water either, it would appear. So that is fine. So what we can do is get some grass, or maybe we can use that little bit of mixed ration just to get the sheep set up and going. Do the sheep eat mixed ration? That's a good point. I never actually remember recalling this. I think they do, don't they? Of course they probably do. Right, so let's get some sheep. 300 pound sheep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If I added that up correctly, we have 20 sheep. Yes. Okay, groovy. Right. So I'm actually just going to park this tractor over here for a second, switch her off. I'll jump back in the styer. And I might just offload the rear weight. Just get this into a more let's actually lower it down a bit. That should aid the stability of driving it. Should be a trailer which I brought over here a second ago. There it is, for the previous video, which you didn't see. Oh, so much has gone unseen, but it's okay. These things happen. I'm not going to be worried particularly. Brilliant. Let's try that again, and let's try and connect the back. There we go. That's what we wanted to do. So we could potentially back this trailer in and try and get a sharp angle, but of course we've got to be careful with the bucket that we don't prang anything. Okay, this is going well. There we go. Nice. Well done. Okay, 4,500 litres. That's a good start. Should be enough to get the sheep up and running. Right, we can't go that way, but let's just go up this lane. We should be able to cut round and back down the lane, which should be good. So this is a little private lane, and you see we've got the fields over here. So that's the field which I cut and processed, collected all the grass. I'll go in cab and maybe I'll actually see something then. It's a bit woody around here. Those are trees on the hedgerow. But yeah, there's the field which I worked, cut, collected all the grass, and I've stored down at the biotech plant for pickling. So that's groovy. And we'll just come down this little private lane. Look, we've got this field here, field 16. That's got withered crop in it. So that was a crop we didn't get to in time. So we'll plough that in, which will add nutrients to the ground, which is quite cool. That's field 18 opposite, which we don't actually own. This is field 2, which is a grass meadow. We do own, and we can look to start cutting that as well. And this field over here, field 6, is not one of ours. Okay, let's quickly come around our abandoned piece of equipment. And there's our lovely farm over there. Beautiful map, beautiful map. Still loving this map. Now, we might have a challenge. This is the same exit we came out of a second ago. And you've got the 2 low-hanging trees, which might be a bit of a challenge to see round. Added to the fact that we're going to be sticking out half a mile with the actual bucket. Let's just go. It seems to be okay. That wasn't too much of a challenge. Yep, he's doing a cracking job in that field, isn't he? That's a lovely shot with the well, he's coming through the hedgerow there, but with the hay shed at the top, half ploughed fields. You've got the weeds there, waiting their turn to be exterminated. Yeah, so we're down to 32 grand after buying those animals, but it's okay. I'm hoping that the biotech silage will bring in a lot of money, and we can buy our much needed equipment there. So obviously first things we'll need to look at is a solid manure spreader. We'll also need to look at a liquid manure spreader, and as well as that, a sprayer would be useful, because obviously, you know, I've hit the post. Oh, I seem to just rammed straight into the back of it. You're right, you're right. Yeah, it's your fault. You crashed into the back of me, technically. Insurance job, bloke. But we're okay. Let's spin around here. Through here, okay. There you go. There's one of our little sheeps. And here they are. Don't they look lovely? Fantastic. So hopefully this will take the mixed ration. I'm hoping it will. If not, then that was a bit of a wasted journey. I have been told. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, there's a bit of a. You got to get the point dead on, otherwise it may not drop. But that. Oh, we only used 2,500 litres, which is okay. We still got some left over, which we can go and dump in the cows once they're ready, and that is golden right. That is worked out nicely. So the sheep are now sorted. Honestly, I need to get rid of that. Need to get rid of that. It's a bit silly, isn't it? So let's just switch that off for a second. Just try and save fuel. If we just hop over, wait for this van to go by. Okay, we'll just hop over to the field over here. So this is the one we ploughed earlier, and as you can see, looking at the soil mod icon down in the bottom right, you can see soil moisture has actually gone up a little bit here. It's actually 58%, and it was 57. 57, there we go. And as we get to the top of this field, you should start to see the soil moisture decline, because it's been open to the air for longer. So he says, and it's not declining, is it? So it should theoretically dry. There you go, 43%. Fantastic. Phew, I thought that wasn't going to work then. 49%, yeah. So there's drier areas of this field, and actually he missed a big chunk, didn't he? Okay, well we can come back and tidy that bit up. It's not a problem. I'm not going to run across the field again. So that field isn't quite ready to work. We've still got some bits and pieces to do on it. Alright, let's have a look. It's okay that way. Okay that way. Try not to hit that gate post again, so let's go out wide. Nice. Right, back to the farm. And we'll park this up around the back, waiting for the more mixed ration to be unloaded. Or I might just shove this straight into the field trough for the cows. Why not, eh? Anything to boost their productivity. Look at that, sheep's productivity straight to 100%. That's what I like to see. Sebastian's doing a grand job on that. We'll send him back to the field just to finish off once that is done. And then we've got all the other fields. So the massive fields we did the canola harvest and the wheat harvest on, which we collected all the bales from. That needs to be ploughed and worked as well. So there's a load of work to do. Unfortunately, we only have 3,500 litres of slurry and 2,800 litres of manure, which will not go very far on our farm whatsoever. So we will need to use some pellet. Oh god, So it's all gone a bit tight, isn't it? We will need to use some pellet fertilizer this cycle. We should be okay. There we go. We made it through in the end. And we could potentially sell that, which was what we might do. Now, I'm guessing we will try and load this from the muddy side. No. Okay. From the other side, maybe? Other side? Cows, other... Yeah. Move on. Move on. Move on quickly. Swiftly. No one noticed. No one noticed. Just keep going. Okay, so we'll get this done. Oh, God. You'd think with all the practice I've had trying to get these videos recorded, my driving would be a bit better. There we go. There's a little bit of mixed ration there. Not a lot, but it's just a little bit of sweetness. You know, it's like a little dessert for them. They... Mabel's interested. Kanye's turned her back on it. Kanye's off. But Mabel, straight in there. Ooh, new stuff. Nom nom nom. Yeah, Mabel loves it. Fantastic. Okay. So we'll take this trailer over back. Oh god, it's a bit tight. I like this tight farmyard, but with a front loader attachment on the front is a bit of a challenge. What was a challenge becomes a little bit annoying. Because you drive to accommodate the swing-in solid trailer behind you, but then you've also got the big arms in front. Right, okay, so we come around here. Dodge that, and we should be okay. Right, okay. Groovy, cool. I will probably reverse the trailer for now, because we want to use it in a second. When I say a second, once the more mixing has been done. Ah, every time, look. Let's lift it up. That'll get it over the gateposts. And it ruined, somehow, we managed to make the trailer turn a little bit tighter than I wanted it to. There we go. Right, so we'll park that next to the fuel tank. I know we won't be able to get past it as such, but I just need this to load a bit more silage into the mixer. But I won't do that on screen because that will probably bore you to tears more so than this episode already has. It's as I said, it's difficult when you've already done half the tasks you've set yourself for this episode. So as we're coming up to the weeds, that's fantastic. So that is going to be obliterated by the plough. We will need to get a better plough as well, because that is a tiny little plough. And when it comes to the fields of fields 5 and fields 45, you know, this is field 7. This is a small field on this map, and it's quite a respectively large field. So we will definitely need to improve our plough. Where's our ploughs? So we've got this little one, which is only a 2 meter span. This one, which is the next one up, is only a 2.5 meter span, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's that? That's a 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we might go. What's that one? That's 4.5, and that's 6. So we might look to see if we can save up and get the Lemken Diamant 12, which is a 4.5 meter spread for the blades, which would be good. It requires a 225 horsepower tractor. That's only 114, but I'm pretty sure the John Deere will blitz that. The John Deere is a 350. Yeah, sweet. So that'd be nice. We need a plough. We need a sprayer. We've only got one available, which is going to be what, 30, just under 36 grand. Oh, just under 35 grand, in fact. And what else do we need? We need a manure spreader, which 6,800 litres for 17,000. 15,500 litres for 31,000, which is it's quite expensive. Do we have any mods manure spreaders? Here we go. No, we're not going to get that one. 8,000 litre for 14,000, or 14,000 for 34. So what was that? 34 for 14,000, and I can't remember what the other one was. It was actually a little bit better, wasn't it? 32,000. It's that one. It's 15,000 for 31. So the Ursus might be the winner there. We might have to get the Ursus. Slurry tanks. We got the Marshall for 9,700, which is 8,000 litres. We got the Zanhammer for 18,500 litres for 38,000. Do we have any mods, I hear you cry? The answer is, of course, yes. We're not getting the Lizard. For 17,000, we've got the Flegel, which has 10,600 capacity, which isn't bad, actually. 10,000 for 17,000. Although 8,000 for 900, is that better value? Potentially that's better value. We might have to start small. It might be frustrating, might be many jobs back and forth from the farm, but that's what we need to do, if that's what we need to do. Sprayers, of course, we need to get that one, unless, was there a sprayer in sprayers? We've got the big Amazon, which is not really something we can afford, and we've got these, which are the sprayers for water. And it adds moisture to your field, so they're not exactly what we're looking for right at this stage. So yeah, we will need to get a slurry, we will need to get a solid manure, a better plough, and I think that is probably our first lot of improvements. Wheel loaders and skidsters. Now, a skidster would be really useful just to sort of zip round. So we might get the skidster. How much is that? That has got a 2,000 litre bucket, because we do need a better bucket on the for our front loader as well. So if we have a look at front loaders, we've got the 1,800 litre universal bucket, which is that one. Silage cutter, which holds 13,000 litres. Okay, that's not exactly what we need either. So we will potentially need to get a telehandler with a, there you go, much better size bucket, 4,500 litre, which is just the kiddie. So that's around 70-80 grand, or the wheel loaders, which are a bit more expensive, but the bucket size is 6,400 litres. Wow. Mods wise, telehandlers, we've got the JCB for 58,000, which is quite a nice one. And we've got the New Holland one there. So yeah, we could potentially 58 grand for a telehandler, 145. That seems quite a. Seems like a bargain, doesn't it? 55 grand, and we might then we'll get the Whoops, hang on, everything's going weird. Then if we get that with the larger bucket, which is currently on sale, which is quite good, we should be quids in. We obviously don't have the money quite yet. Placeables, we've got obviously honeys, greenhouses, and the usual stuff. Okay, so there's a lot to look at, and a lot of potential investment we need to make. I'm going to have a think about this, but I'm open to your comments of what we should get first. Should we just try and use the pellets fertilizer to begin with and concentrate on getting, maybe, I'm just looking at the tractors, potentially look at getting the bigger plough to begin with, but of course with the manure spreaders, the slurry will allow us to add moisture. The solid one will allow us to add moisture over time. So it does give us a little bit more control. Oh, what do we go for first? Or the sprayer maybe, or the telehandler. The telehandler might be a good first investment. Yeah, thoughts and comments. I'm really not sure which way to go on this one at the moment. So I am open to some suggestions and some guidance. I will obviously make the ultimate decision. But if you've got a thought and you've got a reasonable argument to it, then by all means please leave it in the comment section below. I do enjoy reading everyone's different opinions and different ways of tackling the job. As I say, no opinion is wrong. It's just people go about tackling the same problem with different solutions, and it's always nice to read how people come around or overcome these obstacles, which is pretty cool. Right, I'll leave that there. I'll give you a lovely final shot of Sebastian ploughing away as I say goodbye. As I say, I hope you enjoyed this. As always, leave your comment section, your comments and discussions in the comment section, and be sure to join me next time for more Farm Sim 15 on the Melbury estate. I'll see you next time.